Hallo zusammen, I'm your vlog Dave. Learning a new language can be quite a difficult task. Many different grammatical aspects to consider, lots of things to remember, and so on. However, there are a couple of helpful learning aids to make this experience a bit easier. Let's talk about some of them today. Number 1. Look at your own language's grammar system and try to figure out some recurring structures. It might sound strange at first, but once you have a basic idea of your own language, of your native language, your mother tongue, you will be able to understand and to comprehend a second language much easier. Cases, tenses, what is a preposition in German, and so on. Number 2. Once you feel at least a bit confident about your language skills regarding German, don't hesitate to tell a German to speak German with you instead of replying something to you in English. In fact, many, and especially many older Germans, aren't too familiar with speaking English. They might understand quite a bit, but speaking English, like actively, don't rely on all Germans being able to pull this off. I don't mean that in a negative way, like I don't wanna blame anyone or accuse anyone of something. And somehow it's also natural and makes sense, because how should you be expected to pull off fluent English in your everyday life if you're not used to it, you know? It's just the way it is. However, all of this should be less of a problem for rather young Germans nowadays. But still, don't trust or rely on Germans being able to articulate themselves in English overly well all the time. Number 3. I know this might sound strange at first, but I think it's helpful to learn certain topics separately and also to learn things in the actual context of how they are used in the German language too. Like, do it both ways to some extent. One example: learning a German noun first, memorizing the vocabulary, and then beginning to learn about the respective articles and which articles belong to which nouns doesn't make any sense at all, and this will only confuse you in the end. Another example: when learning words, and it doesn't matter if it's a noun, an adjective, a verb, an adverb, or whatever, make sure to learn all aspects to it. In other words, not just how it's spelled, but also how it's pronounced. If you're interested in certain syllables that sound quite different to as how you'd think they might sound like and be pronounced, watch my German lesson on diphthongs. Either click here or the thumbnail that's gonna appear at the end of this video. Number 4. Which might seem like a little contradiction to this. Don't rush in the sense of wanting to learn German in one day. I mean, I'm exaggerating here, but then again, still try to learn focused and without forgetting about important aspects, which is basically what I've mentioned before. Don't give up if you're getting stuck at something. Last but not least, number 5. It's basically the way Chris Martin sings in the Coldplay song The Scientist. Keep learning a fun experience. In general, learning something and especially memorizing new information is easiest when you link an emotion to it, because then your brain can cope with new information way easier. If you want to learn a new word, for instance, like der Baum, the tree, a noun in this case, have it written on a picture of a tree. So whenever you are trying to memorize the word der Baum, you are also looking at a tree at the same time. And this basically helps you to come up with a cognitive connection. In the end, it might be easier for you to remember that der Baum actually refers to a tree. And as someone who teaches German on YouTube, I want to keep this a fun experience as well. Because I'd rather have a little bit of humor in these videos too, than doing it really dry and boring. I don't know if that's an obvious thing in my videos, but it's very important to me. Because I mean, let's be quite honest about this. There's enough totally dry and boring and, well, soulless educational information in the world that has problems with connecting to the respective learners because it's presented in a way that it's not interesting. But that's enough talking about my educational approach for now. I hope you enjoyed this video. And some of the aspects that I've mentioned are rather obvious, but actively and directly addressing them might still make a difference at times. Please don't hesitate to share these videos on social media or, for instance, with other people that you might know. Like, if you go to school and you have German classes, feel free to tell your befriended classmates about this channel, for instance. That would really make a difference, and that would really help me and this channel a lot. So thanks for giving any kind of support to this channel in advance, obviously. Find more information and other ways to help me out in the video description as well. Thanks for watching, however, I'm your Vlog Dave. Tschüss und bis zum nächsten Mal.